certificates.
That's massive. Like we
Huge.
haven't had news like this since the acknowledgement of the apprenticeship, really.
These steps that we're putting in place absolutely confirms that we are more than a bona fide profession. We are a talented, multi-skilled profession because the talent base that we have is phenomenal.
That's when you rang me to tell me, I was like, holy, like how the have you, okay. Hi guys, Clint Adams here, your president of the Master Landscapers of South Australia, and I'm here with our CEO, Chris Wiltshire, and I've got some very exciting news to share, which Chris will get into right now. It's been a while since we've made a video. Sorry, we have been very busy working in the background, but the evidence of that will be in what Chris tells us today. So talk to me about the progress that you have made down our licensing and recognition pathways.
Yeah, sure. So look, I come into the organisation and there was a couple of things that really stood out. One of the big issues our members were having was around getting apprentices. Part of that reason was the fact that their skills weren't being recognised. So to overcome this problem, we approached the Skills Commission, and the Skills Commission said to us, look, if you provide us with a program, we will potentially use that program so that we can provide what's called a trade recognition certificate for your members. That is, if you don't have a formal qualification, i.e. through an apprenticeship pathway, then we will, if you pass this program, we will provide you with a trade recognition certificate. So yes, the exciting news is that we have just become an assessing authority for the Skills Commission for trade recognition certificates.
That's massive. Like we
Huge.
haven't had news like this since the acknowledgement of the apprenticeship, really.
Correct. Yeah.
So if I'm a landscaper, what does this mean for me? If I've been working as a landscaper, I've maybe fully qualified in my mind, I've worked underneath someone else who was a landscaper and I've done a traineeship or I've done 20 years on the ground.
Yeah.
Is this an opportunity for that to be recognised formally with the government as a pathway to licensing? Is that kind of how it works?
Absolutely. So as you can appreciate, when you finish your apprenticeship, you get a trade certificate. And for those people who've been working a long time in the industry, 20 years, 30 years, you know, there's really nothing can be shown. This is now an opportunity where that person can apply for a trade recognition certificate, which under the Skills Commission is formally known as an occupational certificate, but we call it a trade recognition certificate. And once they get that trade recognition certificate, it not only boosts their profile, but it probably leads to better opportunities for employment. It'll be looked upon favourably if they go for a licence or a licence upgrade. Helps out with insurance, helps out with bank loans. And as I said at the start, it allows them to become an employer for apprentices.
Yeah.
So that problem that we had at the start where people were trying to become employers but couldn't because they didn't have any formal qualification, this is that formal qualification.
So the first step that we've done as an association is to get the apprenticeship recognised because that matters. A traineeship wasn't a pathway to being able to do this.
Correct.
The second thing we needed to do was almost find a way to acknowledge or recognise the people that were landscape qualified but hadn't gone through the qualification because it kind of didn't exist.
Correct.
The next step is now to work towards a licensing solution for landscapers in South Australia that is actually specifically landscaping.
Correct, yes.
And that connects back to this.
It does, a really good point, because in conjunction with the Skills Commission, we've also had a lot of conversation with Consumer Business Services. And the discussions have been very positive, and partly because of our program. And just to re-emphasise, this program is called the Trade Endorsed Professional Program. Okay, it's our program. It's the program that the Skills Commission now recognises because we've got all the relevant content in there to prove anybody who passes our test that they are competent people. So we have been having conversations with Consumer Business Services, and as you could expect, the conversations are, well, prove to us that there is a need for a landscaping licence. Our trade endorsed professional program is the gateway to proof. If we get a number of our members and potentially non-members to come through this program, it is undisputable proof that our industry is in search for higher qualifications. The more we have people coming through this gateway, the more evidence we can provide to consumer business services to say, hey, look, this is the demand from our industry. We need licensing. So I would encourage everybody to firstly have a look at our trade endorsed professional program. Definitely contemplate getting a trade recognition certificate. There are many benefits that goes with that. And join us in this, I guess, task of getting a landscaping licence, because, like I mentioned, consumer business services just need the proof. The proof will be in the pudding by the number of people that uptake the trade endorsed professional program we run.
Because we understand the need, because it's our industry.
We know.
And it's not an unfair request, because obviously they need evidence.
Correct.
It can't just be, Clint and Chris said, we need it.
Correct. That's right.
This is also going to be a case that there's probably people that have to do this, not want to do this, right? Like if you want to have an apprentice working underneath you, you can't do that unless you're suitably qualified.
That's right, and that's a really good point that you make about suitably qualified. So if you don't have that formal qualification or equivalent, if you don't have that, you will struggle big time to get an apprentice. The Trade Recognition Certificate is the proof that the Skills Commission need to say that you're a competent individual and that we are happy to support you as an employer or endorse you as an employer for apprentices.
If people are interested in doing this, obviously there's information on our website.
Correct.
But we would send them to the Skills Commission initially?
The preferred pathway for getting a trade recognition certificate would be for the applicant to approach the Skills Commission. There would be relevant fees associated with that. The Skills Commission will on-forward that application to us to do the assessment. Upon a successful application completion, we then forward it back to the Skills Commission for endorsement of that trade recognition certificate.
Our members might be interested to know what that is. So there's a questionnaire or a test?
Yes, so it's a 3-stage process in relation to the assessment. The first stage is effectively like an exam, but it's an open book exam. The second stage is an interview where we quiz you on all things landscaping. And then the third stage relates to on-site experience, so that you can prove to us that you've got the relevant on-site knowledge and experience to qualify as a trade endorsed professional or TEP. And once you're eligible and are successful in that space, we would pass it on to the Skills Commission, and it would be an automatic issuing of the trade recognition certificate.
It's amazing. So I kind of had this visualization of this pathway towards sorting out the industry, or kind of like letting the landscape industry stand on its own 2 feet as a apprentice, or as a training pathway through to acknowledgement, through to licensing. And obviously all these other trades have this. This, once we complete the next step, which will be a licensing if we can, and that's what we're actively working on next.
The conversations have been very positive.
Yep.
We've put a framework in place under the TEP, which will potentially form the backbone of a licence. So I am very confident that talks are progressing at an excellent rate, and that consumer business services, provided that we can show them proof that it is needed, I'm confident that we can get something in this space.
And the benefits for members there is that having a license specifically for landscaping removes the need to have 30 or 40 conditions under your builder's license.
Can you imagine that? 2 licenses. Here's my license. Yeah, I got 4 licenses.
You have to fold it out.
Fold it out. That's right.
Also, public recognition, which
Huge.
is something that I don't know if there's a chip on our shoulder but we fight for, that landscaping is actually a trade, and it needs to be recognised as a trade, which should then offer more interest from young people or even adult apprentices moving into the industry because it's recognised as a trade. And then also that should uplift the value or the perceived value from the end user and hopefully improve the profitability of the businesses, but also the wages in the industry. Hopefully.
Got it.
I can't control that, but...
No, you got it. And it is about recognition. In fact, when I first stepped into this role, there was a real need that's a feeling that I got, that we as an industry, we as a landscaping industry need to be recognised as a bona fide profession. And these steps that we're putting in place absolutely confirms that we are more than a bona fide profession. We are a talented, multi-skilled profession. That's why I'm genuinely excited to be here, because the talent base that we have is phenomenal. So we need to get the public aware of our skills. Licensing and trade recognition certificates all forms part of that picture. So consumers understand what we do, what to expect, and the standards to meet. So putting all these pictures in place, you mentioned a step-by-step process. This is what is happening. This is what is happening day by day today. And I'm really confident that when people start looking at becoming a landscaper, that they understand what it actually means. It is a highly skilled trade that can potentially have huge financial benefit to them or their business, but also for people that are coming into the trade as a young person, that there is a pathway, a set of steps that they need to go through to achieve what is the ultimate, and that'll be hopefully a license that represents everything underneath.
This is very exciting. It's important to also remember that we have spoke specifically about landscaping. We do represent a membership of designers and maintenance professionals.
Yes.
This uplifts everything.
Absolutely.
This means that the standard is higher and it will have a natural effect on the maintenance side of things and the design side of things.
Correct.
This is ridiculous. When you rang me to tell me, I was like, holy, okay. For anyone that hasn't met Chris yet or hasn't seen him out in the wild yet, there's a reason he's been working on this since he started. This is really big, and this is the answer to the question, what does the CEO of the Landscape Association do, or what does the board do? We work towards things that improve the industry with or without the support of the members. And if you are watching this and you're like, I'm a landscaper, but I'm not a member, what can I do? Joining the association helps fund these things, and the association is going to continue working towards them. The difference being, without the support of sponsors or partners and members, we just take longer to do it because we don't have the resources. We'll keep fighting, we just take longer. So if you like what you've heard Chris talk about today, then I really encourage you to get in touch with the association if you're not a member, or if you want to be a partner, also get in touch, because the association getting stronger is going to impact you with or without your participation, but it will happen faster if we get your support. So amazing work, mate.
Thanks.
Very exciting, and I can't wait to hear what, I guess the next stages down the licensing pathway.
Well, all I would say is, for members of MLSA, keep looking at the correspondence we send you. It's going to be pretty exciting over the next 6 to 12 months. We'll continue to work hard, bloody hard, if I'm to be completely honest. And every person that comes in, all of those contributions, this is the end result. Yeah. This is one of the end results. Service to the members, but also, which is in our constitution, a service to the industry. and that's our focus.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.